Beautiful. I'm gonna have my phone here. Hello, hello, everyone. Okay,
Hi.
try to multitask. This is gonna be interesting.
So Patty's on her phone seeing if there's people saying things
Yes, yes,
on
because
Facebook Live. So hello everyone. Thanks Patty
oh
for
yeah, there
inviting
it is. There
me.
you are. Okay, good.
Are
We
we
got
here?
that. Yeah, we're here. Let me begin by saying hello. Welcome back to Chatting with Patty. I needed 2 weeks off. Let me put myself here for a second. I needed 2 weeks off because let me tell you why. Because I was just doing some renovations and I needed to declutter and I needed to, hi Alicia, and I needed to organize and do a bunch of stuff and I didn't want any distractions. And so this is what happened. Patty took over and decided to take some time off to do that. And then here we are again, all of us together, back to Chatting with Patty. So we have a nice big group. And my guest today is, let me talk to you about her first. Let me tell you, she's a dear personal friend of mine. Let me give you a little bit about her background, and then she's going to take it away. And if along the way you have questions about her topic, which is going to be about living a more green life, please message it on the chat and at different times, and we'll ask Jenn about it. So Jennifer Lynn Walker, also known as Jolly Green Jenn, she is her true, I'll say her true, the way she makes her money, her real job is through real estate. She's been doing that for 15 years, but her passion and heart is in, being, is about the planet, is about, in whatever way possible to help heal and save the life of the planet Earth. And she really, truly lives by this. She doesn't just talk about it. She lives by this motto of really having full reverence for the planet. And I'll give you some examples because I get to hang out with her on a regular basis. But this is the kind of person that Jenn is. She has, the responsible real estate agent. Then she has this wild nature about her, which is, here's a typical afternoon with Jenn. We'll be walking in the woods and she spots plants or flowers that catch her attention. She gets off her bike, crouches down, is taking pictures, is smelling them, and finding out everything there is to know about the purpose of this plant. And if it is edible, you can bet she's eating it and then trying to convince me to do the same. And I've only done that with berries, but not with anything else. When, she hasn't convinced me to go there yet, but with berries, I'll do it. Although I did see a movie, Into the Wild or something, and I wasn't crazy. Didn't he eat berries and he killed them? But anyways, that's a thought that went to mind for me. I'm just saying. And then she will take out a chainsaw and create a bookshelf of repurposed wood and bricks that she found in the street, never pays a penny for anything if she could avoid to using anything secondhand. And then she creates this artsy, cool looking bookshelf that people will probably pay a fortune for. We'll be walking in nature, and if she sees a tree and, oh my God, this is the perfect kind of leaves that we can create natural cleaning products in the house. So she grabs the leaves, tucks it in her backpack and goes home and starts doing all kinds of concoction. And she goes, look, Patty, I have my cleaning product for the next month. So this is who she is. And so I knew that people need to find out about Jenn just because she's cool and fun, and she can share with us a little bit about today's topic, which is our superpower. And she'll be talking about our superpower, which is inevitably our purchase power. So first, let me welcome, I'm going to pin you, Jenn, welcome.
I feel like I should go. Okay, that was great. Thanks. Great intro, Patty. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, it's true. This is who you are. This is what I love about you. So before we go into your actual topic, I would like to, maybe you can share, because sometimes to be who you are seems like there's no way I can ever do this, but I'd be curious about your journey. How did you become this person that you are? Because you are, real estate agent by day and this other person on weekends and by night. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your journey.
So when I was 25, I moved to Nelson, BC, which is this really cool hippie town. And I always had digestive issues, gas, bloating, and somebody says, go to a naturopath. And this is the first time I ever heard of a naturopath. And he says, you need to take a food sensitivity test. And I found out that I had a high sensitivity to dairy and wheat, and I cut it out of my diet. And it changed my life. I didn't have any more mood swings. I had, perfect digestion. I had mental clarity. I had more energy. And I thought, wow, if one little small action like that could change my life, what else is there out there? And in Nelson at that time, so this is 28 years ago, they had organic grocery stores. It was right in the middle of a mountain, so there was all kinds of outdoor activities happening. And so I was really connected to the planet there. So I started reading everything I could about health and wellness, and also being taken out to backcountry skiing and hiking, and these things I've never experienced before in my life. And since then, I actually was a sea kayak guide for a while. I've probably done over 400 days hiking in the mountains and backpacking, like, filling up my backpack and going off for a bunch of days, snorkeling and scuba diving. So I feel like I've got firsthand, like a front seat of what's happening on the planet. And with my eyes, I can see, where I went scuba diving a while ago, it was all healthy. And then a couple of years later, went back and it was dead. I've seen clear cuts. I've seen, we've seen animals go extinct. And so it's become a passion of mine. And I decided that I'm going to start becoming more mindful and create a life for myself that has the least amount of impact. So that's what I did. And because of this, I was a hairdresser for 15 years. And at the end, I ended up working for a hair salon called Holistic Hair Studio. And the owner started buying all these healthier products. So I started getting even more into it. And so after leaving that and getting into real estate, I thought, well, what can I do in real estate? So I started learning more about, building greener homes, renovations, alternative products, what more can we use? So all to say, this has brought me to where I am today. And so what I want to talk to you about is what can you do from your life, and how can you contribute? It's an overwhelming process. We're reading so much. We're hearing about, the air's polluted, the oceans, the trees, everything that we rely on. And it seems so overwhelming for a lot of people. So it's like, what can I do to make a big difference? Is everybody still with me on that?
Yeah. And truthfully, I'll say, as somebody I've known you, so I've seen it firsthand, but even there, like, the back of my mind always goes to the place, and you kind of alluded it that you can, but can one person really make a difference in this global environment of ours to really make a change and to create an impact? Because it feels like we're so far to one end. Can little things really make a difference? And I know you're going to talk to us about that, but I know that's always at the back of my mind because it feels like it's gone so far to one end, but maybe hence the overwhelm and hence all of that stuff. But
yes. And we're definitely going to get into it. One thing I'd like to mention though, is the quality of life depends on the quality of our health. And then the health of us also depends on the health of our planet. Our planet is our lifeline. If our planet's not going to survive, we're not going to survive. So that's such an important thing to keep on the back of our heads, because that's, I think, what's going to drive us to start making changes, because we want to leave a planet that for our children, or grandchildren, or, just generations to come, where, we're going to be thought of as the influencers, and we had a chance to make a difference, and we did, And so today we're going to talk about living greener life and exposing a superpower you didn't know you had. So I'm just going to say a disclosure from the beginning that I'm going to be talking about a lot of things, and it may seem overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me. I feel like I know so much, and I have to condense all this information into one tiny message for you, because I feel like even myself, when I go to these, when I listen to podcasts, and sometimes there's so much information, it gets so diluted. So I just want to let you know that even though it may be overwhelming for some, maybe, everyone else, you might know a lot about green, that you'll have one message, one great takeaway. Okay, so one thing I want to first talk about is, what is going green? And now that I've got 3 wonderful people here that I could ask. So what's going green for you? They're all you have to unmute them. And it could be anything. It's something personal. What does going green mean to you?
I'll have something, and anybody else if they want to share. I know for me, I made a conscious effort to spend less on clothes. Can that be called going green?
It is.
Yeah.
I have a lot of clothes. So I've really, this year, the last 2 years, but this year especially, since I'm not going anywhere, I said, that's it. You're going to stop buying clothes and actually looking at how to repurpose some of them. So part of the decluttering was getting someone to say, look at what I have. Can you make it different instead of buying something new?
Yeah. And the clothing industry is one of the worst industries on the planet today. Oh. Just so you know. Yeah. So that's good.
Good. Yay.
And what about you, Angela? Anything you want to add?
What about composting? But I don't compost in the back. Just the city composting.
Yes. Yes, that's great.
It's small.
But it's huge. That's a huge thing, because what the city's doing, everybody's composting. So the landfills, because each borough has their own landfill. And I know here, I'm in Point Claire, we're almost at capacity.
Wow.
And so composting is an important part of our landfills right now. So what you're doing is awesome.
Good.
Apart from that, not much else, because I mean, you're not buying, as you say, too much, and houses are toxic, aren't they? Really, a lot of the time, all the materials that go into housing.
That's right. Yeah, the off-gassing that comes from these materials. That's right. For me, green means a healthier planet. And I just think that's it. It's a healthier planet. It's healthier for the animals, the people, the oceans, trees, and air. It's reducing your carbon footprint, which means using less non-renewable resources and living a more sustainable life. So, we only have so many trees, we only have so much oil, we only have so many minerals. And so as soon as we exploit all of them, they're gone. And these are our lifeline. So to me, it's reducing that. And so the bad news right now is that we're all killing our ecosystems. Everything to do with, our fresh air, our oceans, our water, overfishing, overcutting, the overuse of chemicals on our plants and soils, which are killing the bees. And we rely, I think it's 30 or 40% of our food from the bees. Carbon monoxide, the factory gases. And the bad news is that we are directly linked to the planet. We rely on a healthy planet to have healthy bodies. And so if the planet's unhealthy, so are we. So the good news is that we can go green. So going green is a responsibility. It's a choice. It's life-changing. So you have to decide, I am going to go green, and start implementing new ideas and new habits, right? And so, this is going to affect you, like I was mentioning before, and your family and generations to come. So to go green, you need to be mindful. So in order to do it, you have to set an intention. So what does that look like? Who do you want to become? because that's essentially it, you know. You're like, well, I want to be a better person. You know, I want to have a healthier home, a healthier planet. I want to do my part in contributing to creating a healthier ecosystem. So then, you know, it's the difference between being conscious about it and unconscious. And now that we're talking about it, I mean, it's beautiful that you guys are here, because you're like, I want to make a difference. I want to be more conscious about it, you know? So, you know, it's just a matter of changing the habits. So you were mentioning, Patty, you know, what is the difference? So plastic bags, number one. We've seen all the pictures. I don't have to go over. We've seen the oceans. You know, we've seen these floating islands of plastic. We've seen the turtles with the straws and, you know, wrapped. And, you know, it's, I think, what is the, I do have a stat here. It's something like, I'll get to the stat. It's 1 million seabirds and mammals die each year from plastic ingestion and entanglement. So just right away, reducing just the plastic bags alone. So bringing your grocery bags, reducing eating meat. So to make one burger, it takes 660 gallons of water with just one burger. So that, so that's like a family of 4. That's 2,700 liters of water for 4 burgers.
Okay, time out. First of all, because you said a couple of things. One is your plastic bags. I want to talk to you about this because one, I've seen you, what you do, you don't actually buy ever any Ziplocs. You reuse stuff, I don't know how many times over. Like, she really is someone that does not buy any of that stuff. You told me something once about plastics too, because you were saying in our fish or even some of the foods that we eat, they're finding plastics, correct? Did I hear that correct?
Yeah, so they're finding now microplastics in the ocean, in fish, in oysters. You know, they're opening them and they're actually in there. So we're at a point now where the plastic, once plastic is produced, it never goes away, ever, ever. It's here forever. So, you know, unless we are recycling them, which a lot of plastics cannot be recycled, once they're produced, they're here. So they're being broken down and they're getting into our food chain. And they're then eventually, and all right now, they're getting into us.
Into our bodies, basically.
Into our bodies, yeah. Yeah. So that's plastics. You know, this is just, I'm giving you an idea. So it takes about 2,700 liters of water to make a t-shirt. And about 18 gallons, so I'm switching to gallons and liters because I know there's some Americans here too. So 1,800 gallons of water to grow enough cotton to produce 1 pair of blue jeans.
Jeez.
Yeah. So this water, of course, you know, is being produced. And a lot of times, you know, there's going to be, you know, leftover water, and it's going to be all chemically contaminated. So, you know, what are we doing with this water? So that's just kind of giving you one idea. So just if you have 5 pairs of jeans, you know, maybe 3 pairs of jeans, and already you're making a huge difference.
So I don't know where you're going, like if you're going to talk about it later, because as someone who hangs out with you a lot, I'm just saying, here's a couple of things that I noticed you'll do, like you, and maybe you're going to allude to it. So if you do, stop me. But I know, for example, flushing is a consequence where you're mindful of actually how many times you flush, right? Like you will be mindful of how many times you go to the bathroom and flush. If it doesn't need to be, you'll wait. You know, I know it sounds weird, but I know she does it, and I've started to do that habit actually. I was like, okay, what the heck, why not?
Yeah.
So there was that you've done, which you can talk about, or that I noticed being around you that you've become aware of. You also don't wash a shirt immediately. Like you'll, I mean, obviously it has to smell nice, but you're not someone that washes stuff all the time every day to save water. Like you actually consciously won't want to wash, right along there?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it also saves the life of your garment.
Yeah.
And the more you wash it, especially if it is not a natural fiber, all the microfibers come off your clothes and end up in the waterways. So that if you have a healthier garment, so you're washing it less, then it stays more intact and the less microfibers are going in the waterways. That's one example. It's like, we all know save water. You brush your teeth, you don't keep the tap running. Maybe when you're washing your dishes, you want to put it in a smaller bowl and not use as much. There's all these, and I remember hearing about this when I was, younger. I remember my mom yelling at me, turn off the tap if you're not using it. Mm-hmm. These are, I'm assuming logical things that we're doing around the house. Yeah. Washing your hair too. Being a hairdresser, because we talked about that, it's not healthy to wash your hair every day anyways. Every 2-3 days, even 3-4 days is just fine, And, that includes, using more natural products and stuff like that. Okay. So good.
Sorry. Well, I'm just saying that more because I know that you do it. You do the dish thing. I've seen you do all that. The new level of it was, oh my God, she doesn't even flush all the time. And granted, I know this sounds awful.
Jennifer's bad secrets. Oh my God.
You do flush when it's necessary, but you're actually conscious. So I just said, oh, okay, I could do that. It's, it's not like I have 10 people living with me, you know what I mean? And even whatever. So I just wanted to say that whether some people think it's weird or not, but I thought it was important.
Well, Angela just said she uses a clothesline and rarely the dryer. Yeah, exactly. Because you're saving energy. That's great. That's great. Yeah. The thing is that we're all human. And a lot of us has busy lives. A lot, there's people with kids and we're so busy and it's like, oh, I don't have time for that. I want something easy. I want something quick. And a lot of times we're in this habit, and I'm not judging anyone. I'm not. And I try not even to judge myself because I can be quite a hypocrite. If I was so green, I'd be living in a teepee up in the mountains foraging for my life. But that's not realistic. We're all here to be real. And so it's just, picking up habits along the way that, goes with your lifestyle and it makes sense for you. And to start getting away with the cheap and easy and getting more into healthy and quality, So, this is a challenge for me too. I'm always challenging myself. And yeah, sure, it's easy to go in the store and just grab something, but we're trying to be more mindful now. This is a new age. We know this is a new age. We're all, trying to create a healthier body. And for us to keep it healthy, we need a healthy planet. It's just 1 + 1, right? Does anybody have any questions before I get into the next portion?
No, I have some more comments, but I'll wait.
Of course you do. I love that. Okay, so creating a good habit 1 step at a time. Okay, so this is where your superpower comes in. So your superpower is your purchase power. And I'm going to show you how to be influencers. So how this all works is the corporations make the products to put on the shelves. And how we buy is what they're going to produce. So if you keep on buying one product, they're going to think that product is hot and they're going to just keep on making that product. If you want them to start making new products, start buying other products. So instead of going to the store and buy your regular, say, chemically created dish soap, start buying a more healthy alternative. And that's what's been happening over the years, because you'll notice some of the big name brands are starting to change and creating organic products, biodegradable products, non-phosphate, the toilet paper, 100% post-consumer. So the companies know that people are willing to buy them. And so this is your superpower, is to start buying products that are more consciously aligned with the planet and with health. So, I'll just use milk for an example. So 25 years ago, I was told, don't drink cow's milk. And luckily I was living in BC and there was rice milk and soy milk. That was the first thing on the shelves. And we've walked down those shelves. And before it was just like one little square and you've got 2 products and that's it. Now we go and there's like a whole aisle of alternative milk products. And then the latest, hottest thing was almond milk. You know, it just tasted better, it was creamier, and everybody wanted this almond milk. And then all of a sudden last year, oat milk came on the market. And people are like, oat milk, what's that? Well, oat milk is the most sustainable alternative milk that you can buy. And it can be produced locally, right? Because it's oat, it's a grain. And it's the most environmental, it's the easiest impact on the land. Whereas almonds, first of all, just take a lot of bees and take a lot more water. So it has a bigger footprint. So all of a sudden, people are hearing this, it's creamier, it tastes better, but they're also hearing, oh, it's more environmental. So now when you go, oat milk has the biggest presence because people are starting to buy it. So that's how we're starting to shift our purchasing. So this is your purchase power. So keep buying those products. So one thing I want to teach you is how to buy and how to shop, the action steps to take. So this is what I do. This is coming from 28 years of experience. This is what I do. So when I go, I'll pick up a product. It's in my hand. And then I ask myself, do I really need this product? It could be anything, you know, anything at all. Do I really need this product? Ask yourself. I mean, food might be a bit different, but I still use this philosophy. So I ask myself, you know, is this going to bring value to my life? Does it spark joy? You know, there's this book out, you know, Spark Joy. You know, we end up with so much clutter and they ask to declutter. And that's always the question, does it spark joy? You're about to buy it. You're about to spend your hard-earned money. We all work our asses off, you know, and money is labor. And, you know, we don't want to spend our lives working hard. So, you know, let's be conscious about where we're putting our dollars. So you've got the product in your hand. Do I really need it? And, you know, is there something else out there that's more important in my life than buying this product? So if the answer is no, then you're done. You put the product back and you've saved yourself money, you clutter in the house, you know, resources of the planet. It's done. But what happens if your answer is yes? So the first question I ask myself is, can I borrow it? Oh, go ahead, Patty.
No, that's, well, I was just going to ask you that, but I'll let you finish and then I'll tell you. I'll just
okay. Yeah, okay, keep that. So yes, you want to buy it, great. So then I ask myself, can I borrow it? You know, is it a dress that I'm buying for one party? Can I borrow a dress from a friend? Books, library, tools, you know, anything. Can I borrow it? You know, and I mean, you can start thinking about all kinds of other things that you can borrow. Can you make it? And a card, you know, you go to, it's like $6 for a Hallmark card now. And a lot of them aren't made on recycled paper. Can you make a card? And then ask yourself, and this, I love this question. This is my go-to passion. Can I buy it secondhand? And so let's get into secondhand. What are the benefits of buying secondhand?
Save money. No, and on that note, I'm going to tell you something else before we go into secondhand. So because I'm on this journey of trying to be more mindful, Jenn, I happen to be fortunate to have her as a close friend of mine. She says, okay, that's it. Before you even, because I'm asking those questions. And then at one point, I'm convinced I still need it. I'm convinced because it's now become like a habit, drug, whatever, right? So I'm catching myself. I'm in this addictive behavior. She says, call me, text me, do not buy it. And then she goes through this question process. She really does. She goes, do you really need it? If you think you do, wait a week. And if you still feel the same way, I'm going to ask you a few more questions. And literally it worked because then I wrote it down on my calendar in 1 week. Check this out, call Jenn. And I was like, I really didn't need it. But the addiction to really say, but I gave her every reason why I needed it. And she just let me talk. And then she said, wait a week. What's one more week? And if you still feel the same way, we'll talk some more. I mean, that simple waiting a week was huge for me because I've never done that. I'm a complete impulse buyer like that. If I want it, I take it now. I have a problem. I do. But so having that waiting period, because it's still going to be there in a week from now, allows me to kind of really, so that's one, is allows me to pause on anything. So I'm doing that now with everything, because you called me on my BS, bullshit, Patty, wait a week. And then the other thing that you really do a lot is you're always looking at where you can get it for free first, because you like things. You don't deprive yourself of having something, but you'll always look, never like at first I thought, but I have to deprive myself from wanting this nice thing. And you're like, no way, I never deprive myself of anything. Her house is filled with cool looking things that she either got for free or a lot cheaper. So then I start to look at places where I can get secondhand, which I never did, ever. But seeing things that you have that I liked, I was like, where'd you get that? Oh, she goes, I got it off the street. I said, what do you mean you got it? Yeah. And then I cleaned it up and I did this and I did that, brand new furniture, and literally she didn't pay so I'm saying this because I know you really live by this, but the step of having someone, like for me, I needed you to tell me, call me, don't do it, because I recognize my impulse is so strong that I needed a lifeline of a friend to say, call me before you do it. So I just want to say that.
I'm so happy you mentioned that. Putting it in your calendar a week from now is a great idea.
That was your idea.
It really is. It really is. And so I have to do a disclosure about secondhand stores. I started buying secondhand stores, shopping in them when I was 17. And they were old lady owned. Everything was squished in. They were dusty and full of dust mites. Now it's not like that. I mean, they're organized, they're clean, and I know they're clean because I'm allergic to dust. And when I used to go to secondhand stores, I used to bring a face cloth in a bag to wipe my hands after, but now it's fine. There's Garage Sale, Kijiji, Craigslist, Laypack, and appliances. You can go spend 10 grand appliances. You can get beautiful secondhand appliances for a year old for a fraction of the price, just for an example, right? So let's talk about the benefits of secondhand. So clothes, we were talking about the pollution before, right? And so they use less resources, less pollution. And also too, you may not know this, they put chemicals on clothes like flame retardant. I know couches, a lot of fabric for furniture, upholstery has flame retardant, and even clothes like baby pajamas and stuff like that, they have flame retardant on it. So, things like that. Things for your home, if you buy anything that's not natural, like vinyl off gases. So anything secondhand is mostly probably done all of its off-gassing. So when you bring it into your home, all this off-gassing, the chemicals that you're breathing in, whether it's off-gassing, we can even get into, say, cleaning products, whatever it is, right? They're hormone disruptors. The most important thing in our body is the production of hormones for our brain health, for our body health, and the off-gassing disrupts this hormone, right? So without the hormones, you can get incredibly depressed, right? So already these products are off-gassed. And also 10.5 million tons of garbage ends up in the landfills every year. This is a stat from the United States. 10.5 million tons of annual garbage is in the landfills. So buying secondhand stops products from going in the landfills. And then also too, if you're buying secondhand, it's not being made, so the less exploitive work conditions, maybe child labor, things like that. And I believe that to me is going green as well. So, and there's other benefits too, but that's to me one of the top ones. Does anybody have any questions about secondhand? Does anybody here, do you guys shop secondhand at all? Yeah?
I started.
A little bit? Well,
a lot, yeah.
Yeah? Well, that's great. Well, a lot of people don't like the idea of having somebody else's. And so, for me, there's some things I don't buy secondhand, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, I don't buy underwear secondhand, you know.
Oh,
They have it at the stores. I don't buy socks secondhand. I
no.
have had girlfriends give me underwear secondhand that they haven't used much, but they've grown out of, you know, but you wash them. You just wash them, right? I mean, I could do a whole, like a sitcom on secondhand. Okay, so that was our last question. Can you buy it secondhand? And if the answer is no, or you don't want to, so now you've got the product in your hand or in your mind because you're thinking about buying it. Now these are the questions you ask yourself. So you read the ingredients. If it's food, maybe it's a piece of clothing, you know, and it's all polyester, it's all plastic, right? And you know, plastic is going to break down, end up in our oceans. It takes a lot of energy. It's to produce it. You know, is it an all natural product? The ingredients in food, can you read it? Are they natural? Or is there additives in there that you don't want? Chemicals that you don't want in your body? You know, there are probably over 1,000 chemicals minimum in each one of our bodies right now, easily. And this is a new phase that we're entering in our lives. And we don't know you've got one chemical, two chemicals. Now we've got so many, we don't know how they're playing against each other. But we know autism is on the rise. You know, there's lots of health problems, birth defects, and, you know, there's a lot of studies that has to do with all these chemicals. So read the ingredients that's on there. And the next question is, well, okay, so I'm going to backtrack. So once you read the ingredients and you don't want it, you think to yourself, is there somewhere else I can get this product that's healthier? You know, Loblaws or some of the big grocery stores have health sections now. We have huge grocery stores in the States and in Canada that's all health food. You know, and online, there's tons of, you know, clothes that you can buy. You can buy local, you know, so there's lots of, you know, products like that. So, you know, anything that you put on your skin is going to be absorbed into your skin. Anything you're eating, it's going to be in all your waterways and blood work inside your body, in your brain. It's shaping your brain. So, you know, so that's one of the questions. The next question is, where is it going to be in a year's time from now? Is this a product you're going to have for the rest of your life? And that's a great thing. Or is this something that, you know, in 2 weeks, it's going to be in the garbage dump? Then you might want to think about, do I really need this? Is there an alternative way? So for an example, so I carry this with me in my purse everywhere I go. I love these because if I do takeout, I have all my cutlery here. And it's not expensive. And you can keep it in your car, take it when you go, you can attach it onto where, you know, on your hip belt, look cool. I keep mine in my purse at all times. You know, and these are made with a bamboo. And so, you know, this is just, you know, one example. So, you know, when you're buying, you know, takeout, instead of grabbing the plastic forks and spoons, you can carry something like this with you. So the big question, where is it going to be a year's time from now? Is it worth me buying it? Is it biodegradable? You know, can it be recycled? And then I ask myself, you know, what's it made out of and where is it made from? Yeah, where's it made from? And yes, so that's it. So where's it made from? So meaning, was it made fair trade? Do you know if it was made in China? Do you know if it was a sweatshop? You know, a lot of these products coming from Asia, they don't have regulations like we do here. So maybe, you know, you might want to look and go, oh, you know, it's costing me $5 for these pairs of pants. I can almost promise you there's probably some little kid who's sitting there for 16 hours sewing this for you, you know, and then you're like, well, I don't want to spend $30 on a pair of pants, you know, 5. Well, maybe instead of having 5 pairs of pants, you might just want 2 pairs of pants. So you're starting to rethink things and reshape things. So who made it? You know, is it fair trade? So chocolate, for example, let me see, I wrote something about chocolate. Rainforest destruction is one effect of the banana industry, and you can get a lot of fair trade bananas now. Cocoa companies pay prices so low that many cocoa farmers cannot meet their family's basic needs. So you not only saved a part of the rainforest when you buy fair trade, you are paying these local farmers instead of these big conglomerates. Yeah, so you're helping family in needs, and if it's cheaper, usually it's forced and abusive labor. So, you know, that's my next thing is, you know, where, and how is it made? So, I hope that's not too doom and gloom.
No. These are all questions and good things to be aware of in the sense of when you're buying. And I know it seems, you know, what's funny is when you're talking about it, it seems, yeah, of course. And I'm sharing this more because I'm around you a lot. You really do this. Like you built such a habit of checking the ingredient. I mean, someone who hangs out with you, you'll check the ingredients, you'll wait before you buy something, you'll look in your fridge and look at what's already there, and suddenly you've created something. Like it's become such a habit that what seems rather obvious, in the end, the difference between someone like you and someone like me is you actually consciously make those questions and step every day. And this is why I started to do that and needed to do it in one or two ways. I can't do it in every area of my life, or else I'd probably like be miserable. But I know in certain areas, I've begun the practice of asking that question, of postponing, of checking, oh, she did it this way, let me try that. You know, I noticed that when it comes to Ziplocs, you never buy a Ziploc, you use secondhand whatever bags you have them there.
So if you go to the store and we buy frozen blueberries, pierogies, your bread, a lot of times comes in these, they're all now resealable. So I save them and I wash them over and over. I don't know how old this is.
She's not just saying that.
Over and over and over.
I've seen the pierogi bag for the last 5 years with you. Jeez.
And also too, like buying hummus, buying yogurt, I reuse these all the time. There's no reason to throw them out or recycle them. And a lot of schools will take them too for projects. But you know, I went through that list, and I'm going to give Patty the list and she can post it. She's going to send an email out. But the most important thing to ask is, do I really need it? Mm-hmm. You know, and if I really do need it, can I get it secondhand or borrow it? You know, that has such a huge environmental impact. And then after that, you know, just when you're looking at the product, think, you know, is this healthy for me? And can I find it healthier somewhere else? You know, I went into a lot of detail, but really that it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
And can we go on talk about the borrowing? Because once again, this is something that she really does. For example, something that you do, and you made me realize it also, but you guys in your neighborhood share a lawnmower.
Yeah, we share a lawnmower. Our neighbor gave us a lawnmower. So there's 3 neighbors. We all share the same lawnmower. So we're just like, yeah.
I mean, it seems, who would have even thought of that? Like normally we just all get our own, we each have a lawn, but what you've done, so this is how far, you know, Jennifer will take this. It's like, well, why do I need to buy one for the few times I use it? I'll just borrow it. And there's a conversation about that. So there again, the purchase power, she actually consciously does that, for example. So I wanted to share that because I thought that was kind of cool. I said, what, you even have a sharing of a lawnmower? Yep, we do. So anyway, I wanted to let you know that.
No, I think that's a beautiful thing to point out. Yeah, my neighbors are great. And it was just a conversation. It was just a conversation, you know, and so there's all kinds of things you can do. So I know we're getting near the end. So there's just a couple of extra things I just want to point out. So, you know, when you're buying something, when you're buying clothes, you know, furniture has fabric, sheets, try and buy natural fibers. You know, there's all kinds of bamboo products now, hemp products. You can get organic cotton, you know, linen, you know, anything that's more natural. It's more harmonious all around. Buying local. right? There's farmers markets now. We have so many beautiful local stores that we can buy from. That way it saves on shipping, right? The shipping with the pollution and using up all our natural resources for gas. Buying organic. Organic has less pollutants in the air and the water, because any type of pesticide you put on, it's running off into our land, it's running off into our water, it's getting into the fish, into the worms, and it goes up the food chain, and it ends up definitely in us.
Wait,
so
yeah. Sorry, something else that you do.
Go ahead.
So her backyard.
That way off. Yeah.
In your backyard. She has a beautiful backyard, and I think every single plant you have there, you never bought.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it seems so natural to you. Yeah, no, I didn't. No, most of us.
I actually go into the woods or along the what do you call the gutters of the street. You know, there's lots of there's daisies there. There's like beautiful plants that you can find in nature that you can go with a shovel and bring them back to your house. Lots of them. Actually, I just did a video on it that's on my website. Yeah, I mean, when you go walking in the woods, you go, oh, that's really beautiful. Well, just dig it up, put it, and bring it home and plant it. Why not?
Well, yeah.
Why not? And most of these plants in nature are already really good for birds and butterflies and bees. So you're bringing that home. I mean, you can find, beautiful flowers.
Yeah. I say that because I noticed your backyard. It was great and plush. And I was like, where'd you get all these plants? You're like, what are you talking about? Along exactly what you described. So, and that's something I would have never, I bought stuff. I didn't, but now that I have pots next year, because now I bought the plant, I will do that version. I didn't do it this year, but next year we're going to
get some ferns.
We're going to get some ferns in the woods.
Ferns. Yeah. And if you have a family, it's great for kids or grandchildren. These are great activities to have. Like if you say, okay, let's go walking in the woods, just bring a little plastic bag or something you can, when I say plastic bag, I mean, something that's you've come across that you haven't purposely gone out and get. Bring a shovel and you just shovel it, put it in the bag, bring it home. Mm-hmm. And plant it is a great activity for the kids. So yes. For paper, anything that is 100% post-consumer, FSC wood products. It's a stamp that we have. I don't know if I'm sure you have something in the States, but in Canada where it's selective logging, it's not clear cut, it's a lot more healthier for our forests. Biodegradable, buying products that are that will biodegrade and not harm our waterways, and also recycling. Even though I know in Canada about 10% of what we put in our recycling bin is actually recycled. I don't know if you knew that or not. It's pretty horrendous. I'm sure it's probably similar in the States. Yeah, only 10% of what we put in. So, but we keep on doing it because it's going to drive the governments to come up with solutions, right? And Angeline, I like yours, donate everything. So that, if you want to get rid of a product, bring it to a secondhand store. There is also Salvation Army, and there's all kinds of, places now. There's groups on Facebook where people have had fires or immigrants coming in where they need furniture. And so donating is such a beautiful charitable thing to do as well. It's opening up your heart. So who knew going green is going to be opening up your heart as well. Buying in bulk instead of getting, if somebody's buying juice boxes, buy a big thing of juice and pour it in a container, when you're making kids lunches or your lunch or, for work. Buying in bulk is great. The more the merrier. And then avoiding plastic, any type of plastic, because once it's produced, it just does not go away. So what are some great eco habits? And I just made a quick little list, and maybe you're doing all of them now, but these I find are things that are obtainable, they're easy to do, and it's just, they do have a big impact. So carry a reusable mug. I keep this in my car. So if you go get coffee, and a lot of the coffee shops give you a discount if you bring in the mug. I don't know if you knew that or not. Most all of them do. So you're saving on plastic and styrofoam that ends up in the landfills. Reusable cutlery that I showed you, bringing your bags to the grocery store, and also saying no to bags. Let's say you forgot your bag, your reusable bag. So this is what I do. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And I walk out. You know, instead of putting it all, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm really okay doing this. And then I go in my car and I probably left my bag there and then I throw it all in there. You know, if my daughter's with me, I hear Carrie that she knows already. She knows I'm not going to take a bag. So her arms are open and ready to take it all. You know, so just, it's okay. If you have a purse, shove it all in your purse, put them in your pockets. It's okay to walk out like this. You're an influencer now. You're showing people, look, I don't need that plastic bag. You know, you'll look cool doing it. Believe me.
And truthfully, as someone who hangs out with you, you do this all the time. It has influenced me. So I say that I hang with you and I see that, but you'd be surprised when people, because nobody does it. So what you just said, where you say, no, thank you, it's rare. Because if you forget it, you just take the bag. Okay. I've done it.
Yeah. And I've taken things out of the bags. They quickly put it in. Yeah. And I just say, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Save your bag for the next person. Right. I'm just trying to save the planet. You can add that in, I do, but you don't have to add that in. I like that, Lance. And then recycle, of course, compost. Angelina, composting, using both sides of the paper. A lot of times I get mail, say from the government or whatever, and I notice on the other side, nothing's printed. So I save it. And then when I print out, if I need to print something out, I just reuse those.
I didn't know you did that.
Oh, girl.
That too?
And if I print stuff for work, I'll always save it and, you know, use the other side. And then, Angela, hang dry your clothes, right? Because the dryer, it brutalizes your clothes, number one. But it is the dryer and the oven and our hot water tank and the heating of our house are the biggest electric or gas or whatever you use energy suckers. So that for sure. And then buying recycled paper products, you know, paper towel, toilet paper, you know, printing paper. So my last thing that I'm going to end with is products we never need to buy ever again. You should never, ever, ever buy these products. Ziploc bags. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go.
This is someone I said. For the paper towel thing, that was I know you told me that, but being in your house, it's not even in your vision. I know you have it somewhere.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
See? I never even noticed because there's never there. I figured, oh, see? So you have cloth everything. Every time we eat, there's a cloth this. Everything is cloth. Cloth. And I don't want to dirty your cloth. She goes, no, just take the cloth. Because you'll use that a few times over. Like you really do. And I thought you hid your paper towels to not overdo it. This is where I was going. She must hide it so that she doesn't use it all the time. You don't even have it. You're a whole other human being.
Just lots of rags. That's all you need. You know, you have an old towel, just break it all up, lots of rags. So you never need Ziploc bags because these, I know everybody's buying these and they all Ziploc and they're even thicker. They're so thick. They're like 3 times thicker than a Ziploc bag. And I just put a little bit of soap, you know, rinse it out, and then I just, you know, turn it upside down. Ziploc bags. Tupperware. Like I said, you never need to buy Tupperware. They don't need to make that plastic ever again. We're buying it when you buy yogurt, hummus, whatever stuff you make. Paper towels, you know, rags. Napkins. You don't need napkins. Just, you know, I used my sewing machine and I made about 20 of them. But, you know, you can get them anywhere. Secondhand stores, all kinds of like, you know, estate sales that are just tons, you know, because we used to use them all the time. There was never, you know, paper napkins. So, and they're classier. You have people over, you're like, oh, here's a napkin. They're like, oh, la la, you know, that's really nice. And then plastic wrap. You never ever need plastic wrap. And, you know, because you can just put them in your bags. And they also, I forgot to bring it out, they now make these cloths that they paint on wax. And you can buy them everywhere now. And they shape and form around, say, a bowl. So I've got a whole bunch of them. I get them locally. A woman here makes them, and you just wipe them, and then, you know, but you know, you can just take a plate and put it on top of your bowl and throw it in. You don't need to put saran wrap or cling wrap or wrap, you know, because no one, you know, when I buy mushrooms and I take that's, you know, because it comes with it on top, I save it. I just quickly wipe it and I put it in a drawer. So I'll reuse that over and over and over and over again. So yes. Purchase power. Yeah, we're at the end. Purchase power.
Because I've been around you enough to say you do all of that and some. You don't even realize the stuff you do. So I've had the privilege of being around you to remind myself. But this is where every one person can make a difference. But go on. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, I'm done. And I really appreciate everyone listening and you guys showing up. It means a lot to me. I think you guys are the wave of the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Very, very informative.
Oh, good. Thank you, Angelina. And whatever it is, like every little bit is what does make the difference. You think it doesn't, but you know, if everybody does one thing and changes the way they, instead of buying the plastics like you do, like I've started to do that. I become more conscious of that and a few other things. But anyhow, thank you. I hope you all enjoy it. I truly did. You're always a pleasure to be around, Jenn. And follow her on Facebook. She's always doing something quirky and crazy. And she is a jack of all trades. She can put on a pearl necklace and a dress and then take out a sledgehammer or whatever else and get in the woods and get on her hands and knees. Like, she does it all, and people like that are fun to kind of watch and be around because it gives me permission to go there too. So this is what I love about you. Thank you so much for coming today with everybody here. Thanks to a few of you who came to join and everybody on Facebook Live. Thank you so much. Jennifer, look her up, Jennifer Lynn Walker. Just friend her on Facebook, follow what she's doing, and that'll inspire you every little bit to keep doing that. And I'll be sending out the questionnaire that you're giving me there for everybody.
Perfect. And I have a Jolly Green Homes private Facebook group too that I put lots of information. I'll add that to it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll email that and post that. Good. Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.